There's never been a more exciting time to try to make money from the financial markets. With the world bouncing back from the market crash of 2008, there are new opportunities everywhere. Experts at the City Index Trading Academy say they can teach anyone to be successful. And to prove it, they've chosen 8 aspiring traders to take part in a new competition. The winner will pick up a cash prize of £100,000.
If I put my mind to something, it gets done.
I am in it to win it, and I want to go all the way.
I will give 110%.
2 of City Index's top market analysts will be trying to turn our competitors into superstar traders as they battle it out in the global markets.
You can't be a gambler. If you're treating this as a roll of a dice, then you have no edge.
Each week, the competition will get tougher, the stakes will get higher, and traders who can't keep up will pay the price.
Our traders should consistently visualize the winning trade. It's out there, it can happen, it will happen, and they can make it happen.
And for one City Index Trading Academy graduate, there's the ultimate prize and the skills to make money from the markets for the rest of their life. It's nearly the end of the 4th week's challenge, and it'll soon be time for our expert analysts to decide which traders will be going through to the final of the competition. Last week, it was former Marine Jamie Hanmore who finished on top of the table. But for Shazad Asher, there was a wake-up call from the experts, who were highly critical of his strategy.
1 trade per week, Shazad. Come on.
No, I've got to explain my situation. It's a different strategy.
I'm sorry, 1 trade is not a strategy. It's not acceptable.
But with the worst ROI last week, it was waste disposal expert Martin Baker who became the 3rd trader to leave the academy.
Martin, your trading account is now closed.
Disappointing to go out at this stage. Everyone's got their own trading styles. Some people can take more risks, as I did this week. But if you're in the bottom 3, you've got to go.
As Martin left the academy for the last time, the 5 remaining competitors were set their 4th trading challenge. You're going to have £100,000 to work with, and this week you choose your markets. If any of you finish the week with a profit of £5,000 or more, you automatically earn a place in the final and a guaranteed shot at the £100,000 prize.
One more thing. This week, we're suspending the leaderboard so you can't actually see what the other traders are doing.
Going into the penultimate week, one trader with a lot of work to do to win back the respect of the experts and his fellow traders was Shazad.
This is a trading academy, not sitting around doing nothing academy.
Maybe I was a bit fearful about making trades, and it's just because I so want to win.
Former recruitment consultant Shazad knew that to stay in the competition, he had to respond to the experts' criticisms.
I decided to prove Ashraf wrong and show that I'm not fearful but actually fearless, and I put down a stake of £1,000 per pip, and I ended up making £8,000 today.
That big win meant that by Thursday, Shazad was the only trader to have hit the £5,000 target set by the experts to earn a guaranteed place in the final.
Coming from a sales background, we're just very target orientated, so you give us a target, we hit it or exceed it.
Having taken a big risk with his career to be in the competition, Shazad feels he has no option but to succeed.
I left my job for this competition. If I don't win, then I've got to find another job, so I definitely got to win.
As the traders arrive at City Index for the final day of trading, none of them know where they stand in the table, or that one amongst them has hit the experts' profit target and is already through to the final. So it's nearly the end of our traders' 4th week at the City Index Trading Academy, and with the online leaderboard suspended, our traders will now have to trade out this last hour, hoping that they've done enough to avoid the prospect of elimination ahead of this final challenge. One trader who's worried he hasn't done enough is former journalist Ryan.
I've just had a poor week. I will be in the bottom 3, if not the bottom. And I think personally the jump in position sizing was too much for me. I was very uncomfortable trading, £100 a point. If I was a mentor, I would have no qualms about eliminating myself this week. But we'll see.
Despite not knowing where he stands in the table, last week's winner Jamie Hanmore is cautiously optimistic about his performance this week.
You know, I like to think I've run a tight ship. You know, I've kept everything tight to me. I've even let my losses run. Yesterday, I had a decent day and I made a nice profit from it.
For Police Cadet Jamie, all thoughts are on the final.
My aim has been to get to this stage and get into the final. I am so hungry for this. This is my time. And hopefully I can have a bit of luck in my favour for once and get into the final.
For John Mack, the challenge this week has been not knowing what the other traders have been up to.
I actually found not having leaderboard rather disconcerting because I found that I would react quite nervously and overtrade on the presumption that others were doing far better than I was.
His performance so far has left him unsure of his chances in the competition.
I am nervous because I don't know if I'm up for the job or free and clear. I have no idea at this moment.
With an hour to go, John hopes he can make his survival a certainty as he looks to place a last trade before the 12 o'clock deadline.
If this trade was going to go on all day, I'd stay in it. But I've got 1 hour left. If I was here trading all day, I'd keep the trade because there's no reason to get out of it. And what I'm hoping is that is the beginning of another trend upwards. You find yourself holding your breath sometimes, don't you?
With trading finished, it's time for Mac and the rest of the contestants to find out if they've traded themselves into the final or if they'll face the prospect of elimination. So, okay guys, it's time to tell you where you've placed. James.
First of all, John Mack, you ended up the week with a negative 3.49% ROI. John Walsh, you ended up the week with a 0.23% positive ROI, which puts you in second place. Congratulations, you're on to the final.
Thank you very much.
Ryan, you ended up the week with a negative 6.01% ROI. This places you on the very bottom of the table.
Jamie, Shazad, one of you made the required £5,000 to get an automatic spot in the final. That's you, Shazad. Congratulations. You actually made over £8,000. That's an 8% ROI. I'm afraid, Jamie, that means that you are in the bottom three.
Jamie, John, Ryan. We'll see you back in here in a little while. So at the end of week 4, the table looks like this. Shazad's newfound confidence sees him comfortably in first place, ahead of last week's second from bottom, John Walsh. At the other end of the table, John Mack finds himself in the bottom 3 for the 3rd time and is joined there by trainee policeman Jamie Hanmore and journalist Ryan Thompson. As the bottom 3 await their fate, the experts review how they've traded this week. So we have the results to discuss, and obviously the big story this week, Ashraf, is Shazad.
This is the guy that we really gave him a hard time last week. He applies what we taught him. He made a good, well thought out trade in the Aussie, and he made over 8,000. Just one thing that I'm worried about is that that trade might have been a little bit too risky. You know, £1,000 per point. I don't know how he's going to manage with things like that in the next round.
So now it's time to talk about the bottom 3, Jamie Hanmore, John Mack and Ryan. We're not actually talking so much about who we're going to lose this week, are we? It's about who we're taking through into the final. So Jamie Hanmore, Ashraf, what do you think of his performance this week?
What I like about this guy is that he was in the bottom 3 in the first week. 3rd week, he was on top. There is a good trader in this guy, but can he adapt? We called him 50p, Jamie, because he is very, very conservative. And this time when we upped the stakes to £100,000, £20 per point minimum, he sticks to the minimum.
Okay, and then John Mack.
Yes, John Mack finds himself at the second to bottom this week. He's putting in a lot of trades, more than he's ever done before, which is a little bit concerning for me. On the plus side, he's improved a lot in terms of his risk management. If you take a look at his biggest win and his biggest loss, they about equal each other. He's also averaging up his winning positions, which can be a very good thing.
And finally, what about Ryan?
This is the guy that I enjoyed seeing how he trades. Even the trades that he got wrong, he was able to show us the rationale. However, he's not able to adapt. When the market breaks out, like it did earlier in the week, he was a deer in the headlights. Can he adapt when this thing goes further up? I'm not sure.
So we probably need to get them back in order to make the final decision.
Yes.
Yes.
It's time for the bottom 3 traders to face the experts. Jamie, John, Ryan, you know why you're here. You 3 are at the bottom of the table. So James, Ashraf, where would you like to begin?
John Mack, you had more trades this week than anyone else. Why did you trade so much this week?
The size of the actual account that we were trading shocked me completely. I found actually probably for about the first day and a half I could not get my head around it. And I was closing trades just because the losses appeared to me, the perspective was huge.
If I were to give you money right now and basically tell you, here's my money, trade it, do you think I should trust you?
I'm actually not sure at the moment that I would actually accept it, because the simple fact of the matter is I know I still have a lot more to learn.
Ryan, this is the second time where you can trade basically a market that you like, FX. What happened?
In short, fear. It's the best way to describe my week. I was made completely loss averse by the increased position size. It really spooked me. I don't think I've ever traded so bad, not just in this competition, but generally.
You know, we've been very, very polite with you all throughout. Oh, here's the Ryan guy who dresses nice, nice glasses, nice hair. But listen, this is it. You're in the bottom 3. I'll give you 50,000, and I'll give you 2 more weeks to trade. Would you want to trade it? Can you trade it?
I would be confident trading it.
You will be confident. Okay, don't give me the answer that we like to hear.
I'm certainly not confident with the style that I traded this week, no.
Would you trust him, James? Would you want to give him that money?
I don't know about that.
Jamie, you started in the first week with the bottom 3. Last week, very quietly went in the top of the table. What happened?
I believe that it was an unlimited stake that we could put on. One of my trades that I won was the £100 a point I did. I was trying to do 1,000, but then I realised my margin factors.
£1,000 a point. You didn't have enough margin. That's your lack of studying and understanding the risk management and whether you have sufficient money in the account.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right what you're saying. It was just a silly one-time mistake.
You're the antithesis of Ryan. Ryan got lost, was shaken, and then he ended up losing control, did as many as 40 trades, 3 times more than he usually does. You were shaken out, you did only 7. You've seen the video last week, what we said to Shazad, and he came out, bam, lifted him to the top, made 8% ROI. This is a tough decision. Why should you not leave? Why should you stay in this competition?
I believe I should definitely stay to get to the final.
I believe I can be the king of the world. Why?
Yep, I will implement, ever since I've walked through that door, use every bit of knowledge that you've given me and piece it together like a jigsaw, and it will fit, because I'm here to win it.
Ryan, you lost your head this week. I don't know if I can rely on you. John Mack, we've had this conversation before. You've been in the bottom 3 in 3 out of the last 4 weeks. Too many times? Jamie, what you've seen here didn't really impress me.
Ryan, who do you think should go?
If I had to say someone, it would be John.
John, what do you think?
I couldn't, to be honest with you.
Just give me one answer.
Okay, in one answer, you can have to say Ryan.
What about you, Jamie?
I'd have to say John.
John, Ashraf and I really think that you have it in you to become a good trader. Unfortunately, you've been in the bottom 3 for 3 weeks out of 4. John, it's 3 strikes and you're out. I'm afraid your account is now closed.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity.
Ryan, Jamie, that leaves you 2. Jamie, we look at your trades throughout the competition. You've always traded fearfully. Now, to be a trader, you really have to have confidence. And, I think you could find that confidence, but not in time for this competition. Jamie, I'm sorry, your account is also closed. Ryan, you've had the worst ROI this week, and it's been your worst week in this competition. But Ashraf and I think you show some real potential as a good trader. So congratulations, you've made it through to the final.
I feel massively gutted. I think they made the wrong decision, definitely. I do believe that I could have beaten Ryan. I believe I could have beaten all of them. This is just another stepping stone to the overall goal. You can't give up. If you give up, you've lost, don't you? And I don't like to lose.
So, as Jamie leaves the academy for the last time, John Mack reflects on what he's learned from his experience.
I'm feeling disappointed and quite sad, actually, at the moment. The learning experience for me has been priceless, for want of a phrase. I mean, I'm a very different trader to the one that thought he was a trader when he walked through the door a month or so ago. I am fairly convinced that now, without the pressure of a competition, that I can actually make a living out of it now.
And Mack becomes the 5th trader to depart from the academy. His overtrading this week and 3rd appearance in front of Ashraf and James have been his undoing. 3 traders now remain, and they've been summoned by Ashraf and James to find out the details of their final challenge. This week, they'll also be facing City Index CEO Martin Belsham, who'll be following their progress over the final week.
I've been a trader, I've run a trading desk, and I've employed quite a few traders in my time. The really good traders are the ones that are building positions in a calm and orderly fashion and then working out where they exit. You don't want to have people who've got volatile personalities when they're dealing with your money. Over the next 5 days, I'm going to be looking at these traders like a hawk. They need to raise their game, every single one of them. In the same way as you look at a market, you're looking for trends. Who over the period of 6 weeks is demonstrating that they have taken on board some of the tools and the skills that the guys have been teaching them, but also they're learning from their mistakes. All of them have the capacity to win this competition, but one of them is going to prove that they've got what it takes to be the top trader.
Welcome to all 3 of you, and congratulations, you've made it through to the final week of the City Index Trading Academy competition. And once again, it's going to be up to you which of the 12,000 plus markets you want to trade. You'll have £100,000 to trade with again, and like last week, the minimum trade size will be £20 a point. James, what should they bear in mind this week?
Now this week, you really have to keep in mind that you want to take everything that we've taught you and bring it together into a cohesive trading approach. As we've said all along, it's not just about ROI. It's about taking what we've taught you and applying it effectively to trading the markets. We're not just here to teach you how to trade for a few weeks. We're trying to provide you with the tools to trade for a lifetime.
Again, this week, you'll be able to trade any market you want. On Tuesday, you're going to have the revised Q3 GDP numbers from the UK. The initial ones show that the UK is out of a recession. Is it going to be revised lower? Is it going to be revised higher? That could really impact the British pound and the FTSE. On Wednesday, you're going to have the housing numbers from the US. Now, the US housing sector has been improving in the last few months. Is that trend going to continue? That could impact the US dollar, the dollar pairs, the Dow, the S&P. Choose carefully, guys. Good luck.
Thanks, Ashraf. As you go into the final week, there's one more very important person who's going to be monitoring your performance. I'd like to introduce you to Martin Belsham, the CEO of City Index. Along with James and Ashraf, it will be his decision which of you is crowned top trader at the end of the week. This is someone you need to impress.
Hello, gentlemen. First of all, congratulations on reaching this stage of the competition. What we've asked you to do has been genuinely tough. It's been a steep learning curve. Well done. This week, you're going to go head to head. I'm really going to be watching you closely. I'm going to watch your trades. It's not just about ROI, it's about your mental toughness. It's about what happens when you've got a losing position. It's how you deal with that. It's whether or not you've learnt the techniques that these guys have taught you over the last 5 weeks. You're going to have to deal with pressure that none of you have so far experienced. You're going to have to demonstrate to me that you're worth £100,000. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Martin. Okay, guys, at the end of the week, one of you will be going home with £100,000. It's going to be a very exciting few days. The very best of luck to all of you.
Thanks. Thank you.
So, what are the key things a successful City Index trader needs to know? Well, firstly, with spread betting, it's possible to make money on markets rising and falling. To succeed, our trader needs to be able to correctly speculate which way the market's going and spread bet accordingly.
One of the most important things is to stick with what you know. There are thousands of markets out there, and you should select one that you fully understand, one that you're most comfortable with, a market whose moves you could anticipate. Because if you can anticipate a market, you can make money. And that could be the difference between winning and losing.
This week I'm giving our traders my 3 top tips for successful trading. Number 1 is to trade with the prevailing trend, the prevailing momentum of the market. Number 2 is to manage your risk very closely and also to act upon any threats to your positions. And number 3 is that if you have a solid trading plan, and you should have one by now, then to stick with it unwaveringly.
After last week, I think a lot of traders thought that I shouldn't be here, but the fact is that I'm here just to prove myself as a trader and claim that 100 grand. If I do the same thing that I did last week, hey, I'm going to walk away with that 100 grand.
Yeah, what can I say? I'm through to the final week. It has to be the week that they see the full 100% Ryan, because otherwise I got no chance.
Every week seems to be bringing up a different surprise. Obviously this week Shasad's been the biggest surprise, but you never know what's going to happen next week. Do I deserve the £100,000? Yes, I do, and this week I'm going to show the others I deserve it. There's 3 of us left. May the best man win.
Our 3 finalists now have until midday on Friday to make as much money as they can on any markets. At the end of the week, one of them will be walking away with the grand prize of £100,000.